Have you ever been in a conversation where someone was so convincing, they made you question your own memory, your own perception, even your own sanity? Now imagine that person is your boss. This isn't just about being confused, it's about being systematically manipulated. Gaslighting by your boss can be real. Welcome to Work Advocate Storytime, where we expose the truth about toxic workplaces and how you can thrive past them. Today, we're diving into the insidious world of gaslighting with a chilling story from Chloe, a dedicated junior developer in our Work Advocate community. What she endured with her manager made her truly doubt her own mind. If you've ever felt manipulated or dismissed at work, this story will open your eyes to a dangerous reality. Chloe was incredibly excited to land her junior developer role at a buzzy software company. The company had a reputation for innovation, and Chloe was eager to learn and contribute. Her manager, Greg, seemed incredibly smart and supportive during the hiring process. He praised her skills and talked about all the great projects she'd be working on, setting a seemingly perfect stage. The first month or so was great. Chloe was learning a lot, getting positive feedback on her initial tasks, and feeling like she was truly fitting in. Greg would have regular check-ins, appearing genuinely interested in her progress. She felt confident and capable, a feeling that would soon be systematically eroded. Chloe said the first unsettling incident happened during a project meeting. Greg had given her specific instructions for a feature she was developing. She'd taken meticulous notes, but when she presented her progress based on those instructions, Greg frowned and said, "Chloe, that's not what I asked you to do. We discussed a completely different approach." Chloe was confused. She politely referred to her notes, saying, "Oh, I have it written down here that you wanted X, Y, and Z." Greg just shook his head, looking almost disappointed. "No, Chloe, I was very clear. We decided on A, B, and C. Perhaps you weren't paying close enough attention." He was calm, but his conviction made her doubt herself. Maybe she had misunderstood? This pattern intensified. Greg would give verbal instructions, then deny them. He'd approve a design mock-up via email, then later, when an issue arose, claim he never saw it. "I don't recall that email, Chloe." "Are you sure you sent it to me?" he'd ask, making her frantically search her sent folder while he watched, subtly implying her incompetence. He started making comments that directly targeted her competence, always framed as concern. "Chloe, you seem to be struggling with these concepts. Are you sure this role is the right fit for you?" This was after he had just changed project requirements for the third time. He'd isolate her, subtly implying colleagues were concerned about her understanding. Chloe started to withdraw, feeling increasingly anxious and profoundly confused. The breaking point for Chloe came during an important presentation to senior stakeholders. She and Greg had meticulously reviewed the slides. The night before, he asked her for the final version, just for one last look. The next day, during the presentation, Chloe clicked to a key slide with critical data, and the numbers were completely wrong. Skewed, misleading, it made no sense. Stakeholders started asking tough questions, and Chloe, flustered, looked utterly unprepared and incompetent. Greg just sat there looking sympathetically at her, occasionally shaking his head, a master of feigned concern. Later, when Chloe was almost in tears, Greg told her, "Chloe, what happened back there? Those numbers were way off from what we discussed. You really need to be more careful with these high-stakes presentations." Chloe was devastated. She knew the slide had been correct. The thought that he had altered it made her feel truly paranoid. He had pushed her to a point where she was questioning her own perception of reality, her own sanity, so profoundly. Chloe was lost in a fog of self-doubt and confusion. Before you find out how Chloe finally found her way out of this nightmare, let's talk about how having the right information can make all the difference. When your reality is being twisted, you need tools to ground yourself. A simple guide like the Workplace Defender could have shown Chloe how to clearly identify gaslighting tactics, recognizing specific phrases and behaviors that manipulate your perception. Meticulously document every interaction, creating undeniable proof of what was said and done to counter denials. Implement reality check strategies, learning methods to trust your own memory and combat self-doubt in manipulative situations. When your boss is making you question your own mind, it's easy to feel alone and powerless. If you are stuck in a bad situation at work and need to understand your options, the Workplace Defender is linked below. But now, back to Chloe's story. That sabotage presentation was a horrifying wake-up call. Chloe realized that no matter what she did, Greg would find a way to undermine her. She started confiding in a trusted friend outside of work who immediately identified Greg's behavior as gaslighting. Knowing there was a name for it was immensely validating. Chloe began discreetly looking for another job. It was tough because her confidence was at an all-time low, but knowing she wasn't crazy gave her strength. She eventually found a position at another company. Leaving her job was like walking out of a dense, suffocating fog. It took time for Chloe to rebuild her confidence and trust her own judgment again, but she did. Greg, unfortunately, likely continued his manipulative behavior with other unsuspecting employees. Chloe's victory was her escape and the beginning of her healing. Gaslighting is a serious, often invisible form of workplace abuse. It makes you feel isolated and question everything about yourself. Have you ever experienced a boss or colleague who made you doubt your own mind? Share your story, anonymously if you prefer, in the comments below. Your experience can inspire someone else. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to Work Advocate Storytime for more real workplace stories to help you win at work. Also ring that notification bell so you don't miss what we uncover next. If you want to hear another gripping story, make sure to click on our next Work Advocate Storytime. Need help navigating your own tough work situation? Check out the link in the description for the Workplace Defender. We've got your back. Thanks for watching. Trust your instincts and please take care of your peace of mind. We'll see you next time.